Xin chào các bạn, chào mừng các bạn quay trở lại với livestream của Pyrelics Gaming. Rồi, sắp bắt đầu rồi. Hello Mr. Seven, hello Trapcard. Hy vọng là live review này nó cũng sẽ hay như cái hồi mà nó live review Parasite 2 ra. Right. Lúc đó mình xem mình cũng tưởng đâu là nó sẽ có rất là nhiều content để mà chơi. Lúc chơi rồi thì thấy ôi Endgame content không có gì để chơi hết. Tôi hy vọng lần này cũng sẽ có cảm giác là háo hứng như vậy. Nhưng mà hy vọng nó sẽ có nhiều content hơn. Lâu quá không chơi Part of Exile. Dạo này cứ chơi mấy cái game trên Steam á. Tôi hay chơi những game roguelike đồ á. Hôm bữa có stream á. Cũng hơi chán nha. Không, nhưng mà thời gian này thì tôi ít chơi game lại. Buổi sáng chở con rồi đi học rồi xong đi bộ, đi tới phòng gym, đi tới phòng gym, tập gym cho nó ốm bớt đi, chứ ngồi chỗ nó phì ra quá cũng không tốt cho sức khỏe. So lợi dụng những cái thời điểm off league như thế này để mà đi tập gym cũng hợp lý nhỉ. Me too, nice one bro. Hy vọng là khi mà mùa mới ra thì vẫn duy trì được mỗi buổi sáng đi gym. Y lại gặp với chủ level. Ok. Trượt ván luôn à, nice. Chưa, live review thôi. Mùa mới là tuần sau nha, 2 giờ sáng thứ bảy tuần sau. Thường nó sẽ live review ở 2 giờ sáng thứ sáu, còn mùa mới nó sẽ bắt đầu vào 2 giờ sáng thứ bảy. Thường là vậy. Mùa này ở bên Úc, ở bên New Zealand thì nó đang là mùa thu, nó sắp vào mùa đông, cho nên nó bắt đầu vào 2 giờ sáng. Còn đến lúc mà mùa hè rồi, mùa xuân mùa hè rồi thì nó bắt đầu vào 3 giờ sáng. Tôi thì tôi thích nó bắt đầu từ 2 giờ sáng hơn, tại vì chơi từ 2 giờ sáng đến sáng sớm thì nó 4 tiếng rồi, hoặc là 5 tiếng, 7 giờ dậy con tôi nó mới dậy. Thời gian chơi được lâu hơn. Nhưng mà 2 giờ sáng bắt đầu thì lại kiểu như nôn nao quá, không ngủ được. 3 giờ sáng thì còn ngủ được một chút rồi xong dậy. Right. 2 giờ sáng như bây giờ là tôi chưa ngủ luôn nè. Nói tính 10 giờ tính đi ngủ mà con tôi tới gần 12 giờ nó mới ngủ. Thì thôi xác định là thức luôn chứ ngủ gì nữa. Chuẩn bị đi ngủ hả? Thức tới giờ này rồi xem nốt cái livestream luôn đi chứ. Chuẩn bị đi ngủ gì giờ này. Để tôi đóng cái cửa ngay. Nói ồn quá. Nhớ uống nước nha anh em, thức khuya nhớ uống nước. Ơi 4 phút nữa. Cảm ơn bạn Lê Duy với donate nè. Thank you. Có donate sáng mua ly cà phê ổ bánh mì ngon lành. Let me check if I perceive it. Bằng donate qua Momo đúng không? Tôi để cái link Momo thì chắc donate qua Momo thôi. There you go. Wow, cảm ơn bạn nhiều nha. Như đây mua được 4 ly cà phê rồi. Cà phê bữa nay sao nó lên giá vậy không biết. Hôm bữa trước tôi vô quán tôi mua ly cà phê mà kiểu như tôi muốn uống cà phê đen thôi á, mà kiểu uống shot thôi á, chứ không còn phải bỏ đá hay là gì hết. Thường nó bán như vậy mà bỏ đá nó cho ly trà thì cũng là 20.000. Mà tôi bữa đó tôi vô tôi mua cà phê không thôi, không đá không trà gì hết, xong tôi shot cũng phải trả 20.000. Like what? So mua luôn bột cà phê về nhà chế uống cho nó đỡ vứt. Mấy hôm uống cà phê sữa uống lâu ngày nó tăng công quá. Bây giờ đổi qua uống cà phê đen mà kiểu không đường gì luôn, không đá luôn, shot luôn cho nó nhanh. Bây giờ mình uống cà phê để mà nó tỉnh táo thôi chứ không, mình không còn phải thưởng thức nó nữa. Giờ mà uống kiểu như uống lúc trước á, cà phê có cà phê ngon từ Đắk Lắk á, tôi cứ uống nó với sữa, cà phê sữa. Ôi uống một hồi bây giờ không bỏ được. Chỉ uống một thời gian nó quen rồi á, không bỏ được. Không uống là nó sẽ bị buồn ngủ và nó nhức đầu. Yo, hello. 1 phút 45 giây, 1 phút 45 giây. Let's go. Yeah. Hồi thường Tết là tôi về Đắk Lắk. Tại vì vợ tôi nhà hồi nhỏ ở đó, thì cứ Tết là về đó, Tết về đó vui hơn là ở Nha Trang. Nha Trang kiểu như nó cũng như Sài Gòn vậy á. Tết là mạnh ai nấy về quê hết. Cho nên là cái chung cư này nó vắng lắm. Tết ở đây buồn lắm, cho nên về Đắk Lắk mà nó vui hơn. Kiểu như nó lạnh lạnh, nó có không khí Tết hơn. Yo, hello Kyo ST từ bên Krong Năng. Tôi thì vợ tôi thì khoảng đâu bao nhiêu cây, 9 cây hay là bao nhiêu, mười mấy cây gì đó, đến trước khi đến Buôn Ma Thuột. So từ chỗ vợ tôi chạy lên Buôn Ma Thuột còn mười mấy hay mấy cây tôi quên rồi, còn một khúc nữa. There we go, nghe đầu rồi.
Welcome to GGG Live. Well, it's been a little over 3 months since we launched early access. So
3
it's
tháng
about
rồi.
time for our first major content update. Today, we're going to show you an exclusive reveal of Path of Exile 2: Dawn of the Hunt, which launches on April 4th.
April 4th.
Drops are enabled on today's livestream, so make sure you follow the instructions below in order to claim your
Switch drop.
guillotine finisher.
Tôi vẫn không thấy cái Path of Exile ở trên cái này.
Take you on a deep dive into the new Dawn of the Hunt update. We'll cover a new class.
Tôi vẫn không thấy
and huge expansions on character systems like unique
Path of Exile, thấy cô nào Exile đó.
It's onto the in-game improvements, including systems, a bunch of new encounters, and lots of other content. We're going to finish up today with a live Q&A session.
New class Ascendancy, character system improvement, endgame improvement, new endgame content. Ok, có new endgame content. Trên đây không có ta à? Damn. Nó không có Path of Exile trên cái Gear Up. Too bad. Oh well.
But for me, one day, all that were changed. The spirit, it showed me something. Something forbidden. And to defend all I loved.
Con nhân vật này là Huntress đúng không ạ? Nó dùng cây thương. Cái thương level 1 là cây một cái cây thôi, rồi xong gọt cho nó nhọn thôi. Cái xương mà những cái thương này nhìn giống cái staff. Staff thì hiện tại đang có rồi.
no matter the cost.
What?
I will hear the spirit once more.
Nhìn nó cũng nhanh đấy. Ủa sao đối game này chậm mà ta? Sao càng ngày thấy nó càng nhanh vậy? Ok. Compound luôn. Hi, 25 new skills. Wow. Okay. What was that? New minions? Rock exiles. Support gems. New uniques. Okay. New accession. Okay. Có new Ascendancy luôn cho những cái class kia à? Wow. New maps and much more. Fix cái tower giùm tôi một cái. Fix cái tower giùm tôi một cái. Làm ơn. Ôi cái tower càng ngày nó càng làm khó chơi. Làm ơn đừng cho đi giết quái rare rồi nữa. Cũng được.
Now, as you can see, in Dawn of the Hunt, we're introducing the first new class since early access to POE II, the Huntress. The Huntress is a spear-wielding Azmerian warrior. Born into a society with strict traditions, she was exiled from her homeland after using the power of a skill gem to defend her village. As a dexterous spear user, she specializes in both melee and ranged combat, dashing into
Melee
and
and
out of
range.
battle.
Okay.
Spears have extended range and a short dash, but unlike other melee weapons, you can also throw them. In order to make a hybrid ranged and melee character work, we had to do a lot of thinking about ways to make it fun to both enter and exit melee range. The first skill you will get as a Huntress is Whirling Slash. As well as striking in a circle around you, this skill creates a whirlwind that blinds your enemies.
Có cái chiêu gì bên PO1 mà nó cũng giống như này rồi. Cái chiêu gì mà nó gây sắc bleeding á. Tôi có chơi cái build đó rồi. Có cái skill đó rồi.
These twisters bounce off walls and can hit enemies multiple times.
Twister? That looks so small.
Also throw twisters inside a whirlwind to shoot out extra tornadoes that do way
Okay,
more damage.
that looks better.
In her offhand, the Huntress will usually want to hold a buckler, which allows you to do a new skill,
Buckler.
parry. While holding down parry, your character will counterattack any incoming attack from monsters near you, stunning them. In addition, the monsters will take extra attack damage from your follow-up strike. Some specific skills are designed to be used after a parry and have extra effects. Disengage is a skill that does a quick jump back, damaging enemies in front of you, and it can be used to interrupt other actions.
Bagger cứ làm như là người chơi cứ đánh từng con quái một cùng một lúc vậy. từng con vậy. Parry đâu.
Just be careful. If you parry too much, you're gonna get stunned and possibly killed. You can combine this combo with Whirling Slash.
Only works during campaign, I guess.
Disengage.
Lên map rồi là không ai chơi kiểu này đâu.
The Huntress also has a variety of elemental spear throw attacks. You could use Lightning Spear to bounce lightning between your foes. Or you could throw explosive spears into the ground. These spears take a while to detonate, but when they do, they'll incinerate anyone caught in the blast. All spear throws on the Huntress can also be empowered by frenzy charges. For example, explosive spears will do an even larger explosion and leave fire on the ground. And these empowered versions can activate even more combos. Using Whirling Slash over ground fire will suck it into the whirlwind, adding fire to the explosion.
Nope.
Using twisters inside a fire whirlwind will shoot out fire tornadoes as well. And you can do
Sẽ có người nghĩ ra một cái build gì đó đi nhanh hơn như cái này.
Now, a key aspect of hunting is exhausting your foes by causing blood loss. This skill is Rake, which dashes towards your target and unleashes a
Tôi nghĩ nếu mà muốn người chơi nhiều sử dụng nhiều chiêu á là mỗi chiêu nó phải có cooldown thì người ta mới dùng nhiều chiêu, chứ một cái chiêu có một chiêu có thể spam thì dùng nhiều chiêu để làm gì?
For example, using Blood Hunt will thrust forward and cause a bloody explosion. The more blood loss, the bigger the explosion. If you want to cause bigger bleeds, try out Rapid Assault. The final hit of this multi-hit combo will stick a spear into your
Nếu mà có dùng để đánh boss nữa thì chắc cũng dùng cỡ 2-3 chiêu là max. Kiểu như Monk thì xài cái chuông đặt xuống rồi xong đánh rồi kiểu vậy.
But what can you do with all these spears? Detonate them, of course. Thunderous Leap will allow you to jump onto and explode any spears either in the ground or in your enemies.
Nhìn giống Lost Ark.
The Huntress also has the ability to work with them.
Yeah, nhưng mà những cái chiêu không có cooldown, cứ spam thôi.
As a companion. You can only have one companion at a time, but it will keep the mods that were on it. Try to find a rare beast with good mods to take full advantage of your ability to tame them.
Oh. Ooh, Hunter, Minion.
Now this is just the beginning of the Huntress.
Spectre.
We've really tried to make the hybrid ranged and melee gameplay work for this class by having a huge amount of synergy between ranged and melee options. There are 22 new skills available for the Huntress. By Endgame, you'll be slinging hundreds of insanely powerful spears, sending forth spirit animals and summoning the might of Solaris from the sky. But we still haven't talked about Ascendancy classes yet. What can the Huntress ascend into? Well, the first Ascension class you could choose is the Ritualist. The Ritualist has embraced the darker side of his merry traditions by harnessing the power of animal sacrifice and play.
Sau cái giao diện giống cái này bên POE mà sử dụng lại à? Mùa cái gì? Affliction. Có mấy cái Ascendancy. Đây là một trong những cái đó, right?
The unfurled finger skill allows you to equip an additional ring on a finger around your neck. Taking Mystic Attunement increases the bonuses of all the rings and amulets you have equipped. Now this is one of my favorites. As the Whispers Ask grants you a new skill, Ritual Sacrifice. Use the skill on the corpses of slain rare monsters to absorb the power in their blood, to give you one of their modifiers for a short time.
Headhunter.
Specialize further into Ritualistic Sacrifice with As the Whispers Demand, which allows you to perform that skill on yourself instead of a corpse. Cut your own hand, sacrificing some of your own blood to empower yourself. The Amazon Ascension is for those looking to hunt more than just beasts. Trained as an elite guard to the most important Azmeri elders, the Amazon will use more traditional fighting techniques mastered to perfection. The Predatory Instinct skill will cause you to reveal weaknesses in the defenses of rare and unique enemies, causing you to deal more damage. You can see those weak spots represented on their life bars. While using Elemental Infusion, any charges you consume will infuse your weapon with elemental power, causing any projectile attacks to explode on impact. The Critical Strike skill is as simple as it sounds. It takes your excess accuracy and gives it to you as critical strike chance. Additionally, you have skills like Mystic Harvest, which allows your elemental damage to leech life.
Chơi cái build con Gemling đi xoay giết. Bây giờ nhìn mấy cái chiêu này không có gì thú vị lắm.
We've added a new Ascension class for 3 of the other existing classes too.
Okay.
First up, for our warriors out there, we have the Smith of Kitava. The warrior is a blacksmith in origin, taught by his father Renly. With this ascension, you can take your smithing skills to new heights by embracing power from the insatiable one himself, Kitava. Smiths of Kitava are master blacksmiths and have the ability to forge their weapon, quite literally. Using the Against the Anvil notable skill, you can enhance your weapon with fiery destruction before any battle. After doing so, your attacks will release explosions on hit for maximum devastation. You can also use the power of Kitava to summon an animated copy of your weapon to fight alongside you. A great blacksmith can do more than just forging their weapon though. Their armor can be enhanced too. Now you might think this Ascendancy class tree looks a little abnormal, and you're right. There's a lot of notable skills all disconnected at the bottom there. By taking this point here, which is free to assign, your character is unable to equip body armors with mods of any kind. So your body armor must be normal. Sounds like a downside, right? Except now in true blacksmith fashion, you get to craft your own body armor by taking those disconnected notables with your points. If you want your body armor to grant life, take this notable. If you want resistances, take this one. There's so many choices. Think of it like you're crafting your own body armor, just in a more literal sense. Now,
Okay.
let's move on to those who prefer the reassuring feel of a crossbow in their hands, the mercenary. Alongside the
Nhưng mà
existing
chọn được bao nhiêu
essential
cái
classes,
xong nói
the Gemling Legionnaire
what?
and the Witch Hunter, you can now play as the Tactician. The Tactician is a former Blackguard elite. Free from the duties of a Blackguard, he is able to use his training to decimate the monsters of Rayclast and earn a healthy income doing so. This training comes in the form of various skills like suppressing fire, which causes all
Well,
projectiles to
damage
pin
built
enemies.
in.
When combined with the right where we want them notable, your pin not only stops your enemies from moving, but stops them from performing actions too, similar to freeze. With a soldier's training, the Tactician also works well cooperatively. Using the whoever pays best notable, you can place multiple banners at once. The watch how we do it skill gives a portion of your weapon's damage to your allies as well. But if that isn't enough, you can also command your army of
I don't know.
off-screen archers
Thường mấy
to
cái class nó
unleash
reveal
and
thấy
carpet
chơi
the
như
entire
này
area with
chứ người ta sẽ build một cách khác.
Finally, Witch players will be able to join their legions by becoming undead
Oh,
themselves.
Necromancer?
Dawn of the Hunt, we're introducing the Lich Ascension class.
Oh, Lich.
The Lich is a master of chaos and curses and could sacrifice her life to enhance her energy shield. The Crystalline Phylactery skill allows you to nominate a jewel in which to contain part of your soul, massively increasing its power. There's just one downside to splitting your soul this way though. If you have no energy shield, your mana costs will shoot up. The Necromantic Conduit skill causes you and allies in your presence to have unholy might, granting extra damage as chaos damage. Rupture the Soul makes enemies you curse explode with chaos damage when slain. Dominion over Flesh allows you to apply an additional curse.
Con này giống
Safe
X
to say you'll be the true master of the occult by
Occultist.
choosing the Lich class.
Occultist cộng
Dawn of the
Necromancer.
Hunt, the Huntress, and 5 new Ascension classes. But it doesn't end there. Let's take a look at some of the new skills we've added. Now you may remember we've previously talked about the Raised Spectre skill. It's finally complete, and it will be made available in the upcoming expansion. It can be found in the occult skills on the skill gem crafting panel.
Bind Spectre. Oh,
Raised
Spectre.
Spectre is a skill that allows you to trap the soul of almost any monster in the game.
Có vẻ như là mùa cho
You can then
Summoner,
summon in the skill panel.
cho những người thích chơi Minions.
Spectres cost spirit and will revive automatically if they die, but the spirit cost varies based on the power of the monster. You could summon an army of weaker monsters, or a few of the more powerful monsters. You can combine them with your existing skeleton minions, or summon exclusively spectres. It's all up to you and how you want to customize your army of the undead. Given that there are hundreds upon hundreds of monster variants in Path of Exile 2, it's safe to say you'll be experimenting with this one for a while. We look forward to seeing which monsters serve you best. Now let's move on to our next skill. Since we've been talking about summoning undead so much, let's have a change of pace and summon something a little more alive. In Dawn of the Hunt, we're adding the Summon Rower skill. Summon your friendly rower to aid you in combat as a minion.
Ấp rộng quá, còn phải cưỡi con này để mà chạy.
Move at full speed, even while shooting arrows or throwing spears. Be wary though, if you take too much damage while riding your mount, you can be knocked off and get overwhelmed. It's worth keeping an eye on your stagger bar, as falling off the mount can mean almost certain death. On the topic of new ways to enhance your character, let's talk about support gems. Support gems are used to modify your skill gems in meaningful and interesting ways. Currently, we feel that a lot of builds have insufficient options here. To alleviate this, we're adding over 100 new support gems.
100 new support,
Evil
what?
crystals will enable a new kind of bleed build, turning the damage over time you would have done into explosive vile crystals. Alignment is a support gem for bow attacks, which can reward skilled players with good positional skills. Caltrops will allow you to litter the battlefield with hazards, slowing your foes as you fling spears through their ranks. But there's plenty more for every playstyle, such as Enormity.
Ôi, chơi cái game này mà chỉ cần bảo một mùa thôi nó ra nhiều gem như thế này là không biết gì luôn ấy.
Profanity.
Ok.
Retaliate.
Cho nên mấy người streamer mà họ hay tạo build, tôi thấy họ rất là
Syzygy.
chịu khó tìm hiểu và bỏ công sức ra để mà tạo ra một cái build
And many more.
cho những người chơi
Talk about a new
casual.
class, new
Right.
Ascendancy classes, new skills, and new support gems. But let's not forget about the core of a true action RPG, the items. To start with, let's talk about uniques. We're adding over 100 new unique items.
Oh no.
This time, we've made sure to add uniques with a focus on mid and endgame tiers to make sure there are more exciting items to find for higher level characters. Let's look at some examples.
Okay.
Embrace your inner devil with
Armor
Churnavar
resistant
Killer. It grants
damage
you a
with
large amount of fire damage based on your block chunks.
block. Okay.
The Coming Calamity allows you to become a true master of the elements, granting you all 3 elemental herald
Element
skills
resist
without
enemy.
costing any spirit.
Have
At the
no
same time,
elemental
it analyzes
resist.
enemy resistances.
What?
Wastegate is a belt useful for builds using a single resource like blood magic or archmage builds.
Ôi cái áo vừa rồi mà xài cho cái build struck attribute thì thôi.
It's up to you. Now we could go through these all day, but we'll leave most of them for you to discover. Suffice to say though,
Mà
we
không biết
want there to be
mà không biết
way
cái
more
build
things to
stack
find.
attribute còn sống hay không, tôi nghĩ là
Over
chết
time,
rồi.
our goal is to
Không
add
sống nổi
unique
đâu.
to every single base item type at a minimum, so that you can chance any base in the game. Now, given that we have the Huntress, we have a set of unique spears from early game all the way through to end game as well. One example is Scyther's Spear, which combines bleed and fire in a powerful way. It allows your ignites to be aggravated, dealing substantially more damage. We're also introducing a suite of unique bucklers with some interesting parry mechanics. Kalgyra's Arc, for example, allows you to parry projectiles from any distance. And we're also adding our first unique charms. Bayra's Anguish will not only protect you from ignite, but will also emit a devastating fire nova whenever you do get ignited. In sum, there's just a ton of new uniques to find. We can't wait to see the weird and broken builds that come out of it. Now we also want to talk about
Weird
crafting
and
options.
broken build.
In each
And then you
major
gotta
update
nerf
during
it.
early access, we'll be continuing to add and improve the options here. We have various new crafting tools that have been added as rewards to many of the different types of new content that we're adding. But for now, I just want to mention the changes to runes.
Thông thường thì nó sẽ có một hai build mà nó quá mạnh như vậy. Vừa rồi nó có attribute với lại
So we've changed
Spark.
runes to have multiple tiers, allowing you to get higher tier mods than before. Our plan is to significantly expand the number of more specialized mods for crafting using socketables as we add new content over time. And the first new set of those comes from what we're talking about next. In Dawn of the Hunt, we're adding Azmerian Wisps, which can be found throughout both the campaign and the endgame. The Azmeri spirit has made itself present in Rayclast, and it appears to be trying to warn, or maybe prepare us for the coming darkness. You will first encounter a manifestation of it in the Grellwood in Act 1, where you'll meet Delwyn, an Azmeri hunter who is trying to find out what exactly is causing the spirit to behave this way. As you approach the wisp, it will flee, leading you past monsters. Any monsters it comes into contact with are infused by it, making them more powerful. Each spirit is associated with a specific revered animal within Azmeri culture. This one is a wisp of the Great Bear, and grants enemies extra life and stun. The wisp moves
affliction?
faster the closer you are, and as you move away, they slow down to wait for you. But if you get too far away for too long, they'll dissipate and return to the woods. As you continue to chase the wisp, it will find and possess a rare or unique monster, granting it a new powerful ability. Because this was a wisp of the Great Bear, this monster now also has increased life and stun. But on top of that, it will periodically summon a large spectral bear that slams with wild fury. If you're able to defeat this foe, you will be rewarded. For each monster that was infused and killed along the way, the rewards will be increased. Each wisp has its own mechanics. The Wisp of the Winter Owl is a primal wisp that causes enemies to deal extra cold damage, gain energy shield, and release wind vortices on death. When infusing a monster, they will call down large tornadoes to protect their host. The Wisp of the Wild Cat is a vivid wisp that causes affected monsters to deal more critical strikes and become more evasive. When it infuses a monster, it will summon a barrage of feline spirits that will attempt to tear you limb from limb. If you're lucky, you may even find sacred wisps that can do some pretty crazy things to the monsters they influence. Like the Wisp of the Cunning Fox, which turns normal monsters into magics, magic monsters into rares, and rare monsters into actual bosses. Azmerian Wisps can drop a new set of socketable items that allow you to craft a wide range of interesting new mods onto your items. Each one may only be used on a specific item slot. As mentioned, the Azmerian Wisps can be encountered throughout the game, but there's also a new endgame map called the Azmeri Ranges, a mountain village where the Azmeri once lived, now overrun with corrupt monsters. This map always has multiple Azmerian Wisps in it, and familiar, yet not quite the same boss fight. Azmerian Wisps can also be further modified by the endgame Atlas tree as well, and by tablets.
Ooh.
But I'm not going to be the one talking about those things. In order to cover all the new content in Endgame, I'm going to hand things over to Mark.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts, Game Director on Path of Exile 2. There's a ton to talk about with the Endgame today, so let's dig right in. Path of Exile 2's early access began with a brand new Endgame, and it was clear
Cảm
that it
ơn
needed
sửa
a
mấy cái
lot of
tower.
work. After absorbing your feedback, we're ready to make some epic changes. The first thing is, we just need a lot more content. In Dawn of the Hunt, we have made sure to focus on increasing the sheer number of interesting and different encounters you will randomly stumble into as you explore the endgame. And the second goal is to smoothen the progression through maps and reduce the amount of annoying busy work. To start with, let's talk about the new interesting stuff to find. Well, the most obvious thing to add are new maps. As well as the Azmeri ranges that Jonathan mentioned
Obviously.
earlier, Dawn of the Hunt also contains 7 other new maps,
Ok,
all with their own custom encounters.
7 map
Let's
mới.
start with this one. The Feral Megaliths map starts off in the wild Ezomite forests. As you progress through the forest, you will find mysterious rune-carved stones that, when touched, surge with energy. After activating all the stones, you can find a grand henge, where all the energy is coalescing. You can then start an encounter. The area darkens, a storm moves in, and a concentration of energy summons a dangerous boss. You must fight and defeat the boss to get its rewards. Once you have defeated it, summon another. And another. And another. And another. You have 10 total waves of boss fights which get incrementally more difficult. If you manage to defeat them, you get full boss rewards, but also opportunities to get new runes. These can only be obtained from this map. The Fractured Lake contains a surreal waterscape with fractured mirror-like objects.
Cái
As you
Landra
move
này
around the map, the terrain itself elevates from below, creating the ground you walk on. In this unique map, all the rare monsters are mirrored, so you're always fighting 2 of the same rare at the same time.
Lake of Calandra.
Quite difficult. If you manage to overcome that challenge and make it to the end of the map, you'll be presented with a broken mirror. A powerful
Có vẻ như nhiều content mới ha, có vẻ thôi. Ôi,
The item contained within is a new base type, either an amulet or a ring.
đồ từ
Have
heist này.
additional prefixes or suffixes at the cost of the other. The last unique map we'll show today is one based around the essence mechanic. You enter a crystalline cavern, and you will find a powerful map boss imprisoned in the center. It is surrounded by many rare monsters, also imprisoned in essences. By freeing and defeating the rare monsters, the essence they held will be upgraded to a greater essence, and be added to the imprisoned map boss. How brave are you? How many essences will you add to the boss? Overdo it, and you might lose everything. Underdo it, and you might regret it. It's your choice. Speaking of essences, alongside visual improvements,
Có vẻ
you're
như
now
có
able to
thêm nhiều
apply
boss đấy.
fireballs to
Còn
corrupt the
boss.
essences with a range of unpredictable outcomes. It could increase the number of essences, re-roll all the essences to the same type, or even upgrade the essences to greater essences.
Corrupt essence.
What if they're
Okay.
already greater essences? Well, it can upgrade those too. We have 4 new corrupted essences. Essence of Hysteria, Delirium, Horror, and Insanity. Each corrupted essence has its own interesting combat mechanics. For example, the essence of Insanity causes you to question even your own mind, as monsters split into shadowy clones, and you must locate the real one before a devastating icy explosion freezes everything around it. Each of these has their own crafting outcomes. The essence of Insanity can be applied to a belt. It adds a mod that will ensure the next Vaal orb used on the belt will guarantee adding 2 enchantments. It's worth noting all the essences in the unique map can also be corrupted too, if you're willing to risk it. It's worth noting we have also added 10 extra Atlas passive points you can earn by completing 5 different unique maps. Now, new maps are just the beginning. We had a goal where we wanted to make sure you were constantly finding exciting new content, and that it could be lurking around any corner. So, we have added a bunch of new things that you could stumble into in any map you run. On your travels, you will sometimes encounter rogue exiles. Others like you who have been exiled and are openly hostile. Some are malicious, some are mad, while others are simply fiends for loot. They will challenge you, a fight to the death. They use the same skills available to players, and even the same items. They aren't just dressed up in those items, they're actually using them. It's going to feel like a true player versus player situation. Of course, if you are able to slay these exiles, those items will all drop on the ground.
Rồi vô thêm mấy con exile này nữa, map chết một lần là mất.
As you can see displayed under their life bar, you want to be damn sure you kill them. Because if they kill you and your party, they'll portal out, taking their items with them. Every fight will feel completely different depending on the items they come equipped with. These exiles are much smarter than your regular monster. They have capabilities to dodge roll, avoid your abilities with smart pathfinding, smart targeting, and much more action-packed gameplay. Fortunately, they're like you and they're not super durable. Unless of course they're wearing uniques like Calm's Heart, in which case expect a longer battle. There are 12 different rogue exiles you can find, each with their own skills and personalities. Some may insult you, while others may admire your honor in combat. Another encounter you might stumble onto in Dawn of the Hunt.
Rogue exile.
One of four new
Nó giết mình một lần là mất hết content. So
Strongboxes are chests with modifiers.
I hate that part.
When you try to open them, they activate traps and spawn waves of monsters that you must defeat to access the loot. Let's take a look at two of the new unique boxes that are harder to find and behave just a little bit differently. The Ogham's Legacy Strongbox has a corpse splayed out in front of the rune-carved stone. Upon interacting with the stone, you activate Forbidden Ezomite magic, which revives the monster as a powerful rare. The Strongbox comes with a modifier which determines how many times it will revive that rare. Each time you defeat the monstrosity, the Strongbox revives it again, adding an extra modifier to the monster. With each resurrection, it becomes more difficult, but also more rewarding. This Strongbox is infused with thaumaturgy from ancient Foul technology. Exile's Torment has a powerful artifact inside, and is guarded by chaos itself. Defeating the monsters will grant you a unique item, with a specific corrupted outcome. You'll have to find the other two for yourself to see what they do. Now, let's talk about the introduction to the endgame. Upon starting the endgame, Doriani tasks you with cleansing corruption to help restore the land. However, in practice, the quest objective just sent you on a grind to clear 15 maps. We wanted to make the quest to unlock your Atlas passives much more interesting. Now, Doriani is tasking you with a more specific objective. On the Atlas, you will find areas of corruption caused by the beast. In the center of each one, you will find a corrupted nexus, the source of the affliction. In the areas leading up to the nexus, you will notice that corruption spills out from slain enemies and amalgamates into powerful monsters. Corrupted maps existed on the Atlas before, but we've done
Content
significant
quá
work
trời.
on improving these
À,
versions. We've also
cảm thấy
done
nó cứ sao
full
sao
highs
ấy,
on the
tại vì
modifiers
chơi
on
qua
these
mình đã
maps
thất
to
vọng
make
một
them more
lần rồi.
interesting and more
Bây giờ
rewarding.
mình kiểu như không
Once you
không có
reach the
cảm thấy
nexus,
hào
you
hứng
have
được.
a new task. Cleanse the source of corruption. When you defeat the last rare in those maps, they will spawn one of 3 terrifying bosses, amalgamations of corruption itself. After defeating that boss, Doriani will come and cleanse the corruption for good. As the remains of the boss are purged of corruption, it coalesces into raw crystallized power, which you can use to gain points for your Atlas passive skill tree. The upgrade system that allows you to add and enhance content to your
So
maps.
many new content.
We didn't stop there though. When you complete a corrupted nexus, all of the remaining surrounding corrupted maps will become cleansed maps. Cleansed maps also have new monsters, a new boss,
New boss again.
and their own set of modifiers and rewards,
All the bosses are there.
including finding fracturing orbs by slaying cleansed enemies. These orbs can be used in crafting on a rare item to cause one of its modifiers to become fractured. A fractured modifier is one that cannot be modified by any means. You are able to freely modify the item, ensuring the fractured modifier will never change. If you get
Cứ
the
tìm
right
một cái mà
item
các bạn muốn
with
farm
the
mà xong
right
farm
mod,
duy nhất cái đó
it
thôi.
can prove to be a
Đừng quan tâm
very
đến những
powerful
content khác
crafting
là
base indeed.
để khỏi
You
bị
must
kiểu
now
như
choose. Do you
lan man
complete all
và
the corrupted
không biết
maps and then
farm
the
gì.
nexus? Or maybe you beeline to the nexus, complete it, and do all the remaining maps cleansed. Both have rewards to entice you and challenges to assess. Now, let's have a talk about towers.
Yes.
One thing we've had a lot of feedback on is the
Towers.
basic work around running towers and managing your tablets. The first change we've made here is that we have reduced the number of towers drastically.
What?
So there are now 1/3 as many as before, but we've made them much more powerful.
Okay.
To start with, tablets now inherently add twice as many mechanics. But that's not all. Running higher tier maps and towers now increases the number of mechanics applied by tablets. By tier 15, the bonus is double, allowing a single tablet to now add 4 times as many mechanics as before.
Okay.
So, we're running far fewer towers, dealing with fewer tablets, and affecting even more maps than before. But
Okay.
because there are fewer towers overlapping with each other, you won't get as many opportunities to stack different tablets. In order to solve this, we've made it so that each tower can consume up to 3 tablets at once. You always get 1 slot on completing the tower, but if you can complete a tower with more mods on the waystone, you can unlock a 2nd or 3rd slot. Overall, this allows for even more juicing from towers, while drastically reducing the amount of busy work.
Như này là ok hơn.
On top of that,
Hợp lý
towers
hơn
are
đấy.
much more interesting maps because they can now spawn with all mechanics, including bosses.
Okay.
Each tower map has a new boss. Let's take a look at a couple here. The boss fight of the Alpine Ridge map has 2 powerful witches contesting for territory. One witch has an affinity for ice, the other fire. Who will win? Hopefully neither. The boss of the Sinking Spire map is a remnant of the Val that has been charged with the lightning. It
Oh, so
uses a
what
full
trời
suite
boss
of
vậy ta?
lightning abilities.
Bây giờ phải build một cái build đi đánh boss
If
à?
any of them hit the surrounding constructs, they will power up. Another thing that we've seen a lot of feedback about is sustaining waystones. As we looked into it, we realized that the people who couldn't sustain waystones were dying a lot. A
Yeah.
lot more than we had expected. And
Yeah.
that made us realize something.
Yeah.
During the campaign,
We need more
the
portals.
expectation is that you can die multiple times in order to learn how to overcome challenges. You are able to learn how the monsters behave, adapt to their skills, and eventually overcome them.
We need
But
more
as soon as you get to
portals.
the endgame, you're effectively no longer allowed to die if you want to sustain waystones. By the time you are getting towards the end of endgame, we want you to have to be careful not to die. But it
Oh.
certainly shouldn't be that we have such a sudden shift as you run your first maps. The first change we're making is you can now respawn and return to a map if you die.
Yes, more portal.
Continuing
6
from where
portals.
you left off.
Yes,
When
finally.
you start the endgame, you get up to 6 total attempts per map.
Yes, 6 portal. Let's go.
As you add more modifiers to a waystone, the number of respawns goes down. This means that as you
Boo.
get to the point that you're running every waystone as a rare, you will have to be more careful.
What? Rare
In
one?
parties, everyone gets to respawn that number of times. But we still think it's important that you can kill a boss in one go. In order to allow that to happen, we've made a change so that once you start the boss fight, it changes over to the same respawning system we use for pinnacle bosses. This means that the map owner can choose to respawn everyone at the same time. Another complaint we've seen a lot of is players not wanting
Ok,
to
ít
do
ra
the
cũng có thêm
pinnacle
portal, so...
because of the experience penalty from dying. A change we've made here is that all pinnacle content now no longer grants experience, but also no longer removes experience on death either. Dawn of the Hunt also brings the
Nice,
first batch
nice.
of Twilight Order reliquary keys from the early access supporter packs. These keys contain items selected by our supporters. They can contain any unique item found in Path of Exile 2. If the selected item is a pinnacle boss drop, then only special keys dropped by this content will be able to provide these items. For example, Hand of Wisdom in action can only come from a key dropped by Zesht. We're also making a change that allows pinnacle boss uniques to drop at any difficulty. Rarer uniques will be rarer at lower difficulties, but still possible to find. This applies to the drop chances for the reliquary keys from this content as well. We spoke about towers and
Ôi, cái này tôi làm tóm
earlier,
tắt chắc cả
but
ngày
we
luôn
have
quá.
also added a suite
So
of unique
much.
tablets. Each of these adds crazy interactions to the maps influenced by it. For
Nãy giờ
example,
30
this unique
30 mấy
tablet
phút
allows
rồi,
you to run
chưa
any
hết.
map in a tower's radius without requiring connections, which can be quite useful for jumping gaps and traveling around your atlas. And this tablet causes all runic monsters spawned during expedition encounters to be duplicated, and weakens all expedition monsters that emerge from the ground. The Atlas tree has also been expanded, and you can find many of the new mechanics there, and
Ok.
improvements to existing ones too. Now, through this live stream, we have mentioned quite a few new crafting options that we've added. New runes, corrupted essences, fractured mods, and jewelry crafting bases. But we did have just one more crafting system to talk about. Recombination. Expedition was the only in-game mechanic that was lacking a crafting system, so that needed to change. Recombination is a mechanic that might be familiar to some players. It allows you to merge two items together, hoping to get the best elements of each on a single new item. This new crafting bench will be unlocked as you complete your first expedition, and requires artifacts found during expeditions to fuel it. The rarer the mods on the item you are combining, the more expensive the cost. That wraps up all the major in-game changes we're talking about today. With all the system changes and new content, we can't wait to get in there, start blasting maps, and obliterating monsters. There is one more thing we wanted to clarify before we move on, which is that all the content we've talked about today will be made available in the existing early access leagues, so you can play your existing characters. However, there will be new leagues made for those who wish to start in a fresh economy. It is recommended to start over and get the full new experience in the Dawn of the Hunt leagues.
What?
For all our existing early access players, we're really
Ôi,
looking forward
vậy
to
là
joining you
những cái nhân vật hiện tại vẫn có thể tiếp tục chơi mà không cần phải chơi lại từ đầu, mà vẫn có content luôn. Tại sao tôi phải chơi lại từ đầu? Mà hy vọng là stack attribute nó không nerf. Chưa nghe nói gì về nerf và buff.
Supporter packs are now available to purchase in Path of Exile 2 and contain 6 microtransactions each and the full pack's face value in points. All the microtransactions contained within these packs are purely cosmetic and do not affect your character's power or progression in any way. Thank you so much for your ongoing support.
Nah, chưa có Beastcraft.
Start the Q&A with Ziggy D.
Okay.
With release at the end of next week, our community team will be posting crucial information you'll need for the release. Keep an eye on the news.
Okay.
On release weekend, we expect to launch the new mystery box and many new microtransactions, including Path of Exile 2's first alternate skill effects.
Ooh, skill
Thanks for
effects.
joining us today and checking out our latest developments. We're looking forward to playing the Huntress, trying new builds, and exploring the new.
Ủa mà sao mà có 23% vậy ta?
We'll begin the Q&A shortly,
What
so
the?
please get your questions ready.
There's no part of Exile here. Nếu mà có thì tôi treo ở đây, tôi đi ngủ. À đây có part of Exile nha. Anh em vào Twitch drop kéo xuống dưới hết cùng. Nó có nè. Start now.
Good morning, exiles, and welcome to the Q&A portion of today.
Proceed.
For a very exciting reveal with lots
Okay.
exciting
Cứ treo ở đây thôi.
particularly in crafting. But on that note,
Mà cái này
by
bao lâu
Jonathan
ta? In progress 30 giây, 30 phút.
and more in the future.
Nãy giờ tôi xem 30 phút rồi.
And
Tục hay sao ta?
you had an update about the
I do.
recombination.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah. So we actually last night had a bit of a
Phải coi được 2 tiếng.
We weren't actually fully happy with the way the recombination
Mình đã được 30 phút rồi.
big change to it.
Thì còn 1 tiếng rưỡi nữa. What?
Which is basically that we sort of wanted to give a bit more control.
Nếu mà bây giờ mình tắt cái này xong mình đi ngủ thì nó có tiếp tục không ta?
Kind of weren't really happy about the fact that
Tôi nghĩ là sẽ có chứ hả?
something that like kind of matters a lot for really ultra endgame players. But it wasn't something that was really mattering a lot for like
Đợi clip tóm tắt.
stuff. So we've actually changed
Tóm tắt bao nhiêu để content chắc.
you want on
It's gonna be the whole day.
each item from each item. And then it gives you a
So
chance to success based on the number you
các bạn mà có thể tiếp tục chơi những cái content mới này ở với cái con nhân vật hiện tại mà các bạn đang chơi. Và nó cũng sẽ có server mới luôn. Các bạn có thể chơi ở server mới nếu mà các bạn muốn một cái fresh start, right? kiểu như muốn bắt đầu lại từ đầu. Nếu mà chơi bắt đầu lại từ đầu nó được ở chỗ là cái economy, cái thị trường nó sẽ lại reset, thì những cái như là Exalt, Divine nó sẽ không bị lạm phát quá như là hiện tại, nhưng mà phải chơi lại từ đầu. Còn nếu mà các bạn đã có một con nhân vật mạnh rồi á, thì mà nếu mà nó không bị nerf á, thì có thể tiếp tục chơi để mà trải nghiệm content mới thôi. Nhưng mà tôi thấy chơi như vậy thì sẽ không chơi được lâu thì nếu mà mình chơi con nhân vật hiện tại. Cho nên tùy vào anh em thôi. Nếu mà kiểu như chơi muốn trải nghiệm vài ngày, 1 tuần, 2 tuần thì tiếp tục chơi con nhân vật hiện tại. Còn nếu mà xác định là chơi nhiều lâu hơn á, thì cứ chơi ở server mới. Em ở đây toàn không áo cào tiền mà. Yeah, thì chắc là chơi bên server mới hết rồi. Yeah, chơi con nhân vật cũ thì cũng chán rồi. What? I'm streaming. Why are you not sleeping? 2 more minutes. Almost done. It's done actually. 2 more minutes. Three. You didn't sleep? You haven't slept yet? Ai thôi, đi ngủ thôi. Ôi, giờ này mà 100 em còn thức. Ghê vậy. Bình thường tôi xem livestream giờ này là khoảng đâu 40 mấy 50 người thôi. Bữa nay anh em thức khuya ta. Chắc là chưa ngủ đúng không? 2 giờ sáng thì chắc giờ đa số mọi người là thức từ khuya tới giờ chưa ngủ. Ngày mai làm tóm tắt cái video như thế nào để ta. Cái đó chuyện ngày mai tính. Bây giờ thì lo đi ngủ trước cái đã. Giờ tắt luôn. Give up có tính không vậy? Tôi nghĩ là sẽ tính nhá. Anh em cứ vào đây bấm join đi. Nó progress như thế này. Okay, minimize to taskbar. Nếu mà anh em sợ nó không tính thì cứ để máy. Mình tắt cái Twitch này đi được. Right. Mình tắt cái Twitch này đi được. Thì cứ treo máy. Còn không thì anh em tắt luôn. Tắt máy luôn. Đi ngủ luôn. Nếu có thì ngon, còn không có thì thôi. Tôi thì chắc là tôi tắt máy đó. Để test coi thử là cái này nó có chạy hay không. Right. Còn nếu mà nó được thì cũng tốt, không được thì cũng tiếc. Nhưng mà không sao, kệ đi. Test một lần cho biết chứ. Để lần sau mình còn có thể áp dụng. Right. Chứ nếu mà cứ để máy treo như thế này thì khác gì để Twitch để mà xem đâu. Right. So tôi nghĩ là tắt được. Cho nên thôi cứ tắt đi ha. Rồi. Chúc anh em buổi tối bây giờ tối gì nó sắp sáng rồi. Đi ngủ thôi anh em. Chúc ngày tốt lành. Ngày mai không biết tôi làm xong kịp cái tóm tắt hay không, nhưng mà sẽ cố gắng. Okay. Rồi, bye bye. Nhưng nhớ subscribe và like nha, cho tôi thêm động lực. Anh em nào chưa bấm vào cái link ở dưới phần mô tả để mà download Gear Up để mà ủng hộ cho kênh thì bấm vào tải đi, đăng ký đi. Ok, không cần donate, đăng ký cái đó anh em xài thì tôi cũng được lợi. Anh em được lợi, tôi cũng được lợi. Ok, rồi đi ngủ. Bye bye.